Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for life. We thank you for health and strength. We thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for the community coming together to discuss and concern for our city. We pray, dear Heavenly Father, as we come together in this meeting tonight, that you will give us an understanding and a clear mind of making decisions that best for all the citizens of Lick City. We pray, dear Heavenly Father, you'll bless each and every one that's here tonight. Give them traveling grace back home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, please call the council meeting.
Councilmember Richard Cook.
Present.
Councilmember Yemi Robinson. Present. Councilmember Sandra Fleming Crosby. Present. Councilmember Wilhelmina Scott. Present. Councilmember William Askins.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Nicole Singletary. Mayor Anderson, I find there to be a quorum present.
Thank you. At this time, we need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Move to adopt. Second.
Properly moved in second. Questions? If none, all those in favor by show of hands. Next item is our approval of minutes from Tuesday, August 10th, 2021 regular city council meeting and Tuesday, August 31st, 2021 public hearing on special call meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Questions or discussion? None, all those in favor by show of hands. Next item is our public comment period. Please submit your questions or concerns to interim city administrator William Hall at whall@cityoflakecity.org or administration@cityoflakecity.org. Questions or concerns will be addressed as they are received. Please submit them 48 hours before the meeting so they can be read during the regular city council meeting. If you need assistance, you can contact the City of Lake City at 843-374-5421. Okay, if none.
Oh, I didn't follow this guideline, so I didn't know what Good evening, Good evening, Mayor and City Council President, everybody that's here. I'm just gonna briefly say I wanted to come to thank, Chief, Joey, if I can say that, and his staff for a job well done. I had a concern here in our city where, we had I always say the word wrong, so I don't want to say it right. VAPE shop. So y'all know what I'm talking about. And they were selling to children underage, our students underage. And so one day as I was going to the IGA, I saw two young people went in there, and I went in there and just stood there. And then the gentleman asked me, could he help me? And I said, well, no, I'm just seeing whether you're going to sell to these young people who I believe is underage. So the young boy who looked to be about 12 or 13 said to the young girl who looked to be about 16 or 17, but anyhow, she showed him an ID, and I didn't have the right to look at the ID. But I said to him, I said, well, you're still going to sell even if she's old enough. I said, you heard what the young, he's not of age, and he already told her what he wanted. Are you still going to sell? He still sold to them. And so I called through Ms. Yemi Robinson, got the number, and called Chief. And I told Chief that I was about to, get somebody from Columbia to come, and he said, Ms. Paula, I will handle it. And so I just want to say thank you to him, to the staff, to the city, because the shop is closed because we have enough problems in our schools with our young people with the illegal substance that's there. And we don't need any added thing here in our city as with our young people here in the city. And we know that this material can cause heart attack and everything. So I just came this morning, I just came this evening just to say thank you. Thank you to the chief, thank you to his staff, and thank you to the city for hearing the cry, because it wasn't just only me. A parent went there before I did, about 2 weeks before I did, because they had sold to her daughter, and she called the police, and they did what they were supposed to do. But I am glad that, we have taken care of this, here in our city to make it more safer for our young.
My name is Jessica Wilson, and I just moved back to Lake City in April, and I live on Floyd. There's a lot of speeding on that road, and when I moved here, I got in contact with Jeremy, and he was saying he was going to get in contact with the fire marshal, and, you know, basically the speeding, because there's a speed sign at the top of Floyd saying 35, but you can barely see it. I live right there in the curve. I have 3 kids. My kids are really the only kids on that road. And they do about, speed limit say 35, but they should be doing 25 or 15, okay? But they do 45 coming around that curve. And Miss Murphy was there the other day, me and her was talking, and somebody came flying down that curve. And I was told that there was gonna be more patrol. Well, no. So, I would like to see more, more officers out there, or, what is it, a sign that says, you know, slow down, kids do live on this road. They had it for years, but now they do. And I love my kids dearly. It was, Sunday, for a split second, I turned my head, and my baby, he was in that room. And if I didn't see that, he could have been gone if a car came flying through there. Because they've been doing it for years. Okay, that house been there for years, and I've been there for years. I just moved there, but I was there before, and nothing has been done. So I would like to see if it's something that can be done. Like I said, it's a sign. It's only, I think it's 1 or 2 signs. We looked it up. There's only one at the top. There's none by, what is that, Ronald McNair Boulevard. There's no sign at all saying what the speed limit should be or is. But on Scott Street, their speed limit is 25. I don't know why is it a difference, but we're all right there. But I would like to see if we can get that resolved. Is there anything you can do about that?
She said you reside on Floyd.
Yes, ma'am. Floyd Avenue is called now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roosevelt Bryant, 206 McElwain Avenue. Good evening, everyone. I make it all y'all know why I'm here. I'm here to speak on about the youth center at the old Florence Dalton Tech building. Because we did a survey on it and everything, and it was cool. And I talked to Jason, and he said the only reason they changed the wording, so in case something did happen, that they would still be able to use the money. So I come and ask that you would please give our youth what they deserve. Because we don't need to wait and hold on to this money. We need to use it now because they really need something to do. So take that into consideration, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd like to present to you for your consideration of approval, second and final reading, ordinance number 2021.564, an ordinance for the city of Lake City seeking approval related to the recovery of collection costs as a part of delinquent debt collected pursuant to the Set-Off Debt Collection Act and other matters related thereto.
Okay, the floor is open for a motion to approve ordinance 2021.564 for second and final reading.
Is this one?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2021.564, second and final reading.
Second. Is this for water sewer?
This is the utility side, water sewer. Yes, sir.
Okay, questions?
Yeah, can we get that motion again?
Okay.
You make it first. Who made the second? Mr. Cook?
Who did the second?
Okay.
All right. So, first and second, questions?
I think that was it.
All right.
Yeah, it's the water sewer utility department.
Okay, any other questions? If none, all those in favor by show of hands? All right, next item.
Mayor and Council, for your consideration, second final reading, ordinance number 2021.565, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, South Carolina relating to the recovery of collection costs as a part of delinquent debt collected pursuant to the Set-Off Debt Collection Act for the Judicial Department and all matters related thereto.
Okay, the floor is now open for a motion to approve ordinance 2021.565, its second and final reading.
Move to approve ordinance 2021.565.
Second.
Properly moved in second, ready for questions? No questions, all those in favor by show of hands? Next item.
Mayor and Council, for your consideration, ordinance number 2021.566, first reading. An ordinance of the City of Lake City, South Carolina, amending the process for reading meters to be in compliance, common practice, and all matters related thereto. This is updating our meter reading process and our bill payment process.
Okay, the floor is now open for a motion to approve ordinance 2021.566 for first reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second, any questions? If none, all those in favor by show of hands?
I have a question.
Oh, okay, question.
When you say amending the process before, that we were taking to read these meters?
What we're doing now is we've updated our system with automated reading, and we now can just bring those in automatically. We've also changed the percentage that we charge on late fees, so we're just memorializing that process that was approved in the budget for July 1st, 2021.
So this new process will be real.
I'm sorry?
Be much better. This new process will
Yes.
be much better.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions? If none, all those in favor by show of hands?
Didn't we have at one time, some system where if the water bill is running high in a home or business, that the city would notify?
We do leak letters out,
Right.
and we give them the opportunity to address that. And when they bring the bill in from the plumber, we will do a consideration of a leak adjustment.
Okay, now what's in place before the leak adjustment?
We really didn't have anything prior to that, correct, Tanya?
I didn't hear the question.
What was in place prior to our process of a leak adjustment? Nothing.
The leak adjustment process has been in place for over 10 years, so I don't know.
It was my
That's
understanding
prior
that
to
there
me.
was something installed to alert the city in order to
You're
alert
talking about
the consumer.
You're talking about the billing process, the updates that he's talking about, that it flags and alerts us in the office that a person is having a leak. That's
Okay, that's still in place.
Yes.
Okay, so if it alerts us, they still need to get a plumber to look at it and bring that information to the water department to get it taken care of?
Yes.
That is correct.
Because once that water hits that meter, it's on the household. It's our responsibility up to the meter. And we fix everything in the line up to the meter. But once it hits the meter and we find a leak on the other side of it, that's a household issue.
Okay, how do you notify the consumer?
In writing.
Certified letter.
As soon as the alert goes out, you notify them in writing?
That's correct.
Right,
So adjustments are made to the bill when they bring information back from the plumber? Because I'm assuming they have to pay the plumber to actually look at this. But then on top of that, do they have to pay, or is it adjusted?
What we recommend is they pay their average bill while we go ahead and look at the adjustment that may come in once the plumber has resolved the issue. Because we can have some people say, I got a leak, but yet it's their responsibility, and they'll say, no, it's my landlord. But We're not the landlord, that's between you and the landlord, and we try to stay out those landlord-tenant disputes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Okay, and so, Mayor and Council, first, for first reading for your consideration, ordinance number 2021.567, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, South Carolina, amending the guidelines for the Coins of Care program to be in compliance.
Floor is now open for a motion to approve ordinance 2021.567 for first reading.
Move to approve. Second.
Properly moved in second. Ready for questions?
Yeah. Why are we not in compliance, man?
Well, right now, we changed management. So we have a customer care manager that's now in the process of assisting the customers, so we've incorporated that. We also address the fact that we have customers that come in every 2 months to utilize this program, and they wait, they don't pay a water bill, they ask for they literally, I need my Coins of Care money. So we're making sure we put everything in place that's protecting and use this for exactly what it needs to be used for. So that brings all the management in the water department to be able to service the customers with this Coins of Care process.
How often can you go to Coins of Care?
Well, based on this now, they can go up to a maximum of $300 every 12 months.
Do they qualify, how do they qualify for it?
Based on this, it says 2 months behind. Let's see here. An elderly individual, 65 or older, a person with disabilities, individuals must provide proof of the disability based on the criteria of management or city administrator. They cannot use this program during cutoff periods.
That means I qualify then.
And
If it's 65.
You already required.
and they must be participants.
Oh, yes, and they must be participants in the program. So if they've opted out, they're not eligible.
And remind them what participation is.
That they round up their bill every month. And what is it, 4 months? Participating in the program 4 months before we would consider them. So that means they can't start this month and in 2 months drink Coins of Care.
Okay. Any other questions?
So there's no income guideline?
Not really.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
All right. Any other questions? If none, all those in favor by show of hands? Next item.
All right, let's see here, Coins of Care. Ordinance number, for your consideration, 2021.568, first reading. An ordinance for the City of Lake City relating to the amending of the Lake City Municipal Code 17-2.6 for delinquent payment of bills 17-2.17 for restoration of water service following disconnection and non-payment. This is a disconnection or non-payment on after-hours fee when people say come in and they make their payment right at closing time and we're closed, and then we got to get someone after hours to go on overtime, they've got to pay an after-hours fee. It also justifies that we now have a 15% penalty for late fees. So we're fixing our documentation to relate to everything.
What's the after-hour fee
After-hour fee is $75
per hour, just a
just to
flat
go,
75?
yeah, for them to go out there and turn the water back on.
Even if it's
We're
across the street from
gonna
here?
get the questions. Let's do,
Okay, I'm sorry.
yes. The floor is now open for a motion to approve ordinance 2021.568 for first reading.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, now properly moved in second, ready for questions?
Yeah, sorry.
Any questions? If none, all those in favor by show of hands? Next item.
All right, that was, all right, Mayor and Council, we move to a resolution for your consideration, resolution number 2021.395 for approval. a resolution for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, authorizing the submission of an application by the city of Lake City to the state of South Carolina Community Development Block Grant Program with the grant amount of about $500,000 and a match up to $50,000 and all matters related thereto.
Okay, the floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2021.395 for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Questions or discussion? If none, all those in favor by show of hands. Next item.
Mayor, Council, for your consideration, resolution number 2021.396 for approval. A resolution for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, committing to providing a local match for a municipal association South Carolina hometown economic development grant and following in its procurement policy when securing services and products with grant funds. The grant funds will be in the amount of $25,000 and the match will be $2,500 and all matters related thereto.
Okay. The floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2021.396 for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second. On the board for questions.
Okay. What are we gonna use this 25,000 for?
These funds will be utilized for what we're hoping to assist in whatever project's going to be attached to the Florence County king tax for recreation.
So this was, another grant that can help
Correct.
the project.
Like anything that we can find out there that we're eligible for, that we have max money to go against, we're going to make sure that we take every effort to get every penny that the city can get for whatever project we let y'all vote on.
Okay. Any other questions?
So that was number
Number two, okay.
396.
Yep.
All right, resolution number for your consideration.
Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't vote.
All right. All in favor?
All right. Thank you.
Anybody went back?
For your consideration, resolution number 2021.397, a resolution of the city of Lake City, South Carolina, establishing approval for the acceptance of grants funds from the FEMA assistance to the firefighters grant, the grant amount being in the amount of $25,845, which will match the amount of $1,230.71, and all matters related thereto. This is for the fire department.
Okay, the floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2021.397 for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Questions or discussion?
This grant for, the assistance to the fire, what exactly will it be taking care of?
Fireman's Fund to award it in the grant for 5% match. Fire Department planning funds to purchase PPE for PPE washer and dryer for the department, as well as gas monitoring cylinders, holders for gas monitors.
What are the gas monitors used for? Gas monitors?
Their mask,
Okay,
yes. Oxygen,
okay,
yeah, those type gas containers.
okay.
And this washer and dryer is between the PPEs, which is the heavy equipment that they wear. It's not a normal washer and dryer.
Okay, it's commercial type?
Type, yes, industrial,
Okay.
from what I've been informed.
Any other questions? None, all those in favor by show of hands. Next item.
Mayor and Council, for your consideration, resolution number 2021.398, a resolution for the city of Lake City, South Carolina, authorizing the city of Lake City to enter into a professional service agreement with Safe Built Carolinas LLC for building inspection services to include plan reviews, after-hour and emergency services. This is Safe Built. We've been in contract with them for a couple of years. This is to reestablish the contract with them, which is now expired. And this contract will run for the remainder of this year through June 30th, 2023, at the same rate that we have now.
Okay. Floor is now open for a motion to approve resolution 2021-2398 for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Questions or discussion?
Question. Well, we're not gonna do it in-house since we've got 2 inspectors now. Do we have 2 inspectors?
We don't have a qualified building inspector with state license. We have an inspector and we have an administrative assistant who does code enforcement,
Well,
Who's that?
Amy Pringle.
and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but why don't we have a license? I mean,
Well,
qualified person.
I hear what you're saying, but at this point, we really don't have the construction projects that's going to justify someone on payroll and also benefits. This is way much cheaper than hiring someone full-time and paying them full
So
benefits.
what does the person, what's the other person do?
They're doing business license approvals, they're doing the code clearance forms, they're doing inspections for those type things, and they're also keeping up with the Blythe housing, notifying, researching, and doing the letters.
So the contract, I see that if this agreement is approved, the contract will go until June 30th of 2023
At the current rate, yes,
at
ma'am.
the current.
No increase during that period.
Okay, so the contract is not by a year, it's by,
Well, we could end at June 30th, 2022, but since we're already, pretty much into this year, we just decided to lock in that amount through June 30th, 2023. And at that point, during the next budget period, y'all decide you want to go in a different direction, then we can see, it'll take us a while to find the proper individual with the proper credentials.
will it be hard to get out of that contract?
No, ma'am.
It won't.
No, ma'am. I've already asked that question.
Okay, we'll be on the safe side.
Okay, any other questions? If none, all those in favor by show of hands? Next item.
The next item is resolution, Mayor and Council, for your consideration, 2021.399, a resolution of the City of Lake City, South Carolina, selecting an architectural firm to oversee and manage the project for Community Learning Resource Center located at 278 Cole Road, former Florence Darlington Technical Building, as approved in Resolution 2020.359, which is attached, and a motion carried unanimously during the March 10th, 2020 meeting and all matters related thereto.
Okay,
And if you would remember, you had 2 companies that did a presentation. One was SGA and one was GMK. Those were the 2, and I have them listed here that gave the presentations a couple of, 2 weeks ago at the senior center.
August 31st.
August 31st, thank you.
okay. The floor is now open for a motion to approve SDA or GMK for the architectural firm to oversee and manage the project located at 278 Cole Road, former Florence Darlington Tech Building.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2021.399.
And just for purposes, y'all, there's 2 to select from, so we'll need a motion for one of them and an up or down vote for that person or for that business. If that vote does not pass, then someone can make a motion for the other one, of the other entity to vote, so.
So do them individually.
Correct.
Sorry,
Or who?
I'll rephrase that. I'll go ahead and rephrase that. I make a motion to approve under resolution 2021.399 to approve for GMK Associates Incorporation to do the architectural on 278 Cole Road.
Okay, do I hear?
Second.
Okay, properly moved in second. Any questions? If none, all those in favor of GMK, by show of hands.
Are we in favor of GMK, or are we in favor of the resolution to hire them now and go ahead with the bill?
Well, let's make sure.
So
Charlie?
the resolution before you is to choose between the two to move forward with that project. So choosing one, is moving forward with that Cole Road project. The two, it's the resolution is specifying that project, and it's saying, are we moving forward with the GMK or SGA?
So the motion was made to GMK.
Correct. So the motion on the floor is to approve the resolution as to GMK being that architect.
Okay. Any? All right, so I'm just gonna ask again, all those in favor of GMK by show of hands? Okay. That's all you need on that one.
That's all I need, is a resolution. So, you got that? All right, and let's see here. So we've got the resolution, Mayor and Council, for your consideration, 2021.400, resolution of the City of Lake City, South Carolina, seeking the approval to appoint Mr. Edward McKnight to the Zoning Board of Appeals and all matters related thereto.
Floor is now open. And, is that a reappointment for him?
It is, it would be, because he served before.
So you made the motion? Second? You made the second?
Second.
Okay. Questions? None? All those in favor by show of hands? Okay, next item.
All right, Mayor and Council, the next item we have on the agenda is the approval of the monthly bills for your consideration. What? Oh, the monthly financial report, I apologize. You should have the financial report that was passed out to you this evening. Looks like this. The graphs are in your pack. Your graphs are on page 65 further. If you will review, general fund, revenues coming in at $460,000. Expenditures coming at 1.347. We're at 6% of our revenues in, and we're at 18% of our expenditures for the general fund. In August, at this point, we should be at about 16.66% of our budget. And as you know, this also had grant funds in last year, and we also have legal fees and grant expenses in this year for the project. So we are undergoing that we've not recouped our funds back yet, but also our taxes flow after we get our taxes in the rear. So that's why we're overspent by $887,000. In the water department, we have 16.66% through the month of August. We're sitting at 16% above budget. Revenue at $252,111. Expenditure at $205,416. So we have a surplus of $46,695. In the sewer fund, we have 19% of our budget in at revenues of $555,382. We have spent 15% of our budget in expenditures at $425,946. And that means we have a surplus of $129,435. And that's the financials for the month of August. And Mayor and Council, I will present to you, I just had it, the bill list. What are we doing now?
Report. ADA.
Oh, the ADA report, I forgot about that. We have, for your consideration and your approval, we're seeking approval to accept the American Disabilities Act guidelines by adopting the self-assessment and participation plan, which was presented to you in your packs. And this is the same program that Haiti was talking about for us to get our grant in place. as a document. That's part of what we've been working on, that we had one of the first steps we did and had to put in place before we got to the point of them accepting us to even submit an application. So if you have any questions, Haiti would be more than happy to try to give you those answers. But we're asking for your acceptance and your approval to move forward with this.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve report number 2021-002, seeking the approval to accept the American Disabilities Act guidelines by adopting a self-assessment and participation plan.
Make a motion to approve report 2021.002.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any questions? None. All those in favor by show of hands.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Now the monthly bill list, I'm sorry. All right, Mayor and Council, I present to you for your consideration and approval the September 14th bill list, items 1 through 11.
Public service and waste management. The public service is doing sludge, right?
Sludge, yes, sir.
Have we ordered our truck?
The truck is on order, and as everything else is dealing with COVID, we're hoping to see it. Preliminary dates are saying November. The 20-yard containers, preliminary dates are saying October. That's if everything falls into place. I check on them every month, and I have someone that keeps me in touch, abreast of what's going on, but they should come back to back. So once that happens, we'll settle up, but it's looking that we're not gonna have much of a contract to buy out based on this, so we may be in good shape.
Okay.
So we have two months, so 2 months.
Yes, there were too much of bills that's because we had a staff change, new employee, and moving over to we had our existing employee doing 2 jobs, so we're catching them up here. One of them was paid, but one didn't make it on the prior bill list. But they will cut us off if they don't get their payment on a proper time. And sludge is something that we can't afford to be cut off on.
And item number 10, the playground equipment, I was just wondering what playground equipment.
That's a playground is, on item number 10, the Play World is the playground equipment that you got through the PARD grant, correct, Cynthia? Yes.
Oh, okay.
We'll be reimbursed. We have already submitted for the reimbursement, but we had to write that check out, so it's above our limit. We put it on here for your consideration for approval.
Where is this equipment going?
Where's it at?
It's at Duke Park on Fairview Street. It hasn't been installed.
Okay. Need a motion to approve bills items 1 through 11.
Make a motion to approve bills, item 1 through 11.
Properly moved in second. Any other questions? If none, all those in favor by show of hands.
Mayor and Council, Chief Cooper will give you the police update.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, Lake City citizens. If I do it easy. Thank you. Thanks, man. The month of August, Lake City Police Department and services provided, we're looking at personnel that were with the city and also moved on. As far as volunteer resignation, we've lost actually 6 individuals who went on to other agencies, and 5 that went on to other agencies, and 1 actually retired. That'd be Lakeisha Burgess, she retired. Everyone else actually went on to different agencies, either for the monetary value or just to be closer to home because of COVID. We also have, as far as retention, we had an individual that graduated approximately 2 weeks ago, Cody Parker from the Criminal Justice Academy. So he's with us now, full-time as a Class 1 police officer. We have 2 individuals that are waiting now to go to the police academy. They'll take the cumulative test Wednesday. Will actually be tomorrow, if they don't reschedule again on Thursday, but it should be tomorrow. Then we'll have an academy date for them, so they'll be coming back after they're accepted into the academy once they graduate to be full-time Class 1 police officers. We actually hired on a Class 3 evidence technician because Lake City for many years has always been without an evidence technician or a clerk to actually make sure the process of gathering evidence be submitted in a proper manner during the court forum. So we're excited about that. We've actually added 2 other individuals from another agency Officer Hobbs and Officer Stone, who was going to be school resource officer and also patrol division. So they've come with at least, one is on a 3-year experience and the other one has approximately 20 years experience in law enforcement. So we're excited about that. As of right now, we have approximately 22 sworn officers that are Class 1 police officers. We're under retention right now of trying to fill those other 6 spots that we have. In addition, we do have 2 civilian employees, victim advocate, and also my admin, administrative assistant, and also 1 part-time, which is Ms. Francis Singletary, so she's part-time custodian. So we have approximately 6 slots that we're trying to fill. And at this point right now, it's not a matter of why are we filling these slots. We're looking at quality as opposed to just quantity. Because you can't just bring anybody in and get them a handgun and let them patrol these streets. And the way things are now, and especially in the society of how we police, and the mindset of individuals that are transferring to and from overseas, and we have the society that we live in is litigious, okay? So everything we deal with now is dealing with money. So to avoid any type of litigation later on, we do our due diligence, we hire somebody. So the process is actually starting to work. We got a good stock of people that are coming in and they're excited about it. So that's really helping us out. So just bear with us as we move through this. And like I said again from last council meeting, other agencies are feeling the same thing. It's not just Lake City. You know, and I know you feel some kind of way because we're short, and I know you feel some kind of way because you want police presence, and I get it. And there are a lot of other agencies that'll probably fight with you hand and fist to tell you the same thing. Everybody's feeling the same thing. Now I can go out here right now and probably hire 10 people right now. But you'll be mad at me next week because you can ask me where you getting 10 people from. So just bear with me. Let us go through the process and bring some people in. You know, it's going to come, trust me. We've also, we made sure during this process of hiring people, we made sure that, well, I made sure that we had the proper coverage of where we needed. We have the individual working the street. We have officers that are investigators that are on call 24 hours a day, as well as I am. We want to make sure the schools are covered. Our little people need security. They need support when they're at school. All our schools are covered. And I don't know if it's good or bad. They're covered so well, Dr. Hickson gave us another school. So, so it looks like we're going to have a Grand Road. We got a Grand Road now. So we're moving pretty good. And she's comfortable with it. She loves what we do because we bring a different type of atmosphere. And it's going to be hard to replace Lakeisha Burgess because she brings the type of environment that loves. She loves the kids and she loves the elderly. So it's going to be hard. But we're going to make it happen. So all the schools are covered, and also, like I said, the +1 with the Grand Road. We did still purchase, well, we're trying to purchase the vehicles. We have approval for 3 Chargers and 1 Chevy Tahoe, and right now those vehicles are still on standby. Because of COVID, because of the parts coming in from China, that's what we have right now, guys. I mean, the 3 Chargers that we thought we were going to get, they sold them prior to my appointment. They sold them like maybe last year. Then they turned around and said, okay, we got some more for you. We got some Durangos. You want those? I said, well, I'm going to need some vehicles. I called the following week. And Mr. Hall said, hey, you need some vehicles. I called. They said, Durangos are gone. Just like that. And these were people that, like I said, they purchased these things, like pre-purchased these things like a year ago. So I called about the Chevy Tahoe, and they said, okay, yeah, we got your truck. I said, oh, that'd be great. We'll just go ahead and make sure the vehicles get shipped down to where they need to be. Then I got a call 45 minutes later and said the truck is built and it's sitting in Texas, but we have no chips coming from China, so you can't move it. So there we have it. So we have bicycles though in the back. So some of us still ride bikes, but right now we're doing good. We're doing well. We're maintaining our vehicles. We're maintaining the fleet. We got maintenance that we work on every month. So we are keeping up what we have because we know we're gonna be in for the long haul if this thing hits again. So we're ready for that. We're moving now toward the reserve officer program. We're approving that. So we do have a reserve officer that's actually working with us. The program was actually submitted this year and it was approved again. So we'll be able to hire more officers based on, well, not really hire. They come in and they work for free. So with us having 28 employees, we can add up to 27 reserve or officers on our program. But that still comes with a cost. So we just bear with us while we do this. But you know, like Mr. Cook alluded to last time, it's kind of hard to get some police officers where things are. So there are a few who actually, you know, just going to come and answer the call. In the wake of a lot of things that's going on with the city, especially events and everything like that, I know the police play a very, very, very important role with juveniles and very, very important role with the community, trying to bring things together and galvanize what we have. So in the midst of what we have going on, and this is contingent upon COVID, whether we go back to COVID standards of being locked down or in place, or just staying at home or working remotely. I'm working now with some individuals in the community, and it's slow, so don't get mad at me if I didn't call you. Please just bear with me. I'm working with some people in the community now that we're trying to put together a Juneteenth festival, okay, which will happen in June of 2022, tentatively. As COVID hit, it's going to be a little bit worse, so it's going to take a little bit longer. So we're trying to put things together so we can have a festival around about June. So I'm just going to give you a heads up. Hopefully we'll get to the point that we can actually send out some surveys and stuff to get some ideas on what we want to bring to the city for like a week, okay? So keep your eyes on that. And also with the kids and the younger generation, we have a post-Explorer number that we're going to be assigned because we had an Explorer program years ago. Again, all of this is contingent upon COVID. We don't want to bring kids in and start this program. The COVID hits and they're disappointed. So we got a program. Now, the Explorer Post program is pretty much the younger kids come in, they being mentored and being shadowed by us, and they kind of go through what we do every day as far as the police academy. And they actually compete against other law enforcement agencies to include sheriff's office. So and this is a competition. They come in on Saturdays, they have a curriculum in which they study, they do physical training, PT, we run with them and stuff like that, and they sit up in the classroom and they learn basic law and stuff like that. And the program has been successful in the years past. And we've actually turned out individuals from the Explorer program who've gone on to be highway patrolmen, Secret Service, U.S. Marshals. We've had them all from the sheriff's office. Everybody's pretty much that we know that was in this program, and they were juveniles then, so they come back, and I'm gonna definitely introduce you guys, but then they were juveniles, and they made a difference. They made an impact because they saw what we went through, and they saw what the program was about, and they had structure and they discipline when they were lacking that at home, whether it be mother or father. One of our strongest leaders we had was a female. Lord have mercy, this girl was bad. And she could still do it too. And I'm telling you, people followed her, but she loved the program so much, she started going out and pulling in other people from her same age and demographics and stuff, and it changed a lot of them. So we're happy about that. So that's going to be moving here hopefully soon. Like I said, with COVID coming up. Now, as far as monthly activities, we had approximately 106 reports that were generated. Out of those reports, 17 males were arrested, 5 females. We wrote 55 citations in the month of August. There were no juveniles detained or arrested in the month of August. So that's a good thing. Arrest warrants were served, or at least we have on file right now, 687. Now 687 is a high number, but it's contingent upon COVID. My thing is, if an individual did not commit the crime in our presence, and it's not a crime that leads to, let's say, something really heinous like murder, stuff like that, we're not going to go to these people's house and pull them up, take them to the jail, for them to turn around and kick them right back out 15 minutes later, because the jail has a guideline that they go by too as far as COVID. They're reducing a lot of things. These individuals know they're wanted, and it helps us out. You know, they'll go out and they'll wear the mask, and I love it. And they love it too, because they think we don't know who they are. And by us letting them know that they do have warrants, and once we get a break in this thing, it's going to be a time of amnesty. You get to turn yourself in. So a lot of them understand that right now. But at the same time, I can honestly say, knock on wood, the crime has been low. There have been next to no shootings, and we're going to have those. They're going to pop up. But I can assure you, based on what we're trying to do now and the approach that we're using now, the city is in a safer place, and hopefully it maintains that way. So we're doing a lot with that. We had, like I said, no major crimes, that occurred in August. Now, for our service calls, and I think Mr. Cook mentioned that too about the burglaries one time, about the alarm calls, we had an influx in those. Now, for August, we had 692 calls for service to respond to. 692. Out of those 692, I kind of gauged on what we were looking at as far as the high numbers, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but the ones that made pretty much the top 10, the top 15 per se, 11 of them were 911 hang-ups, 86 of them were alarm calls, or burglary alarms, or false alarms, or 86. We had 29 traffic accidents, we had 15 larcenies, 10 were noise nuisance, we had 10 psychiatric and suicidal attempts, and I think that's really important to mention that because a lot of individuals now are going through crisis. So, and it's one of those things that you can't arrest yourself out of. So it's easy for us to go there and place somebody in handcuffs and take them to jail, but that doesn't fix the problem because they actually need help. So when we get these service calls, it takes a little bit longer, and it takes a little bit longer for us to make sure we connect with the right resources to get them some help. So actually, since I've been here, we've actually had a couple of individuals who wanted to take their own lives. So it's very, very serious. So it may take a little while, but we actually work with them and also with the Sheriff's Office and also PD Mental Health. And as far as traffic stops, we had 101 traffic stops in that. As far as community complaints, again, we answer community complaints when we get them, and we answer them on a day-to-day basis, but we have to be methodical and tactical in our approach because we understand we have a smaller department now. We're trying to gather some more people, but we have to do it in a common sense manner. And I know that the speeding on Floyd is very bad. I get that because shortly after I spoke with you, we had a vehicle come through there and clip the light pole. Yeah, twist the guy's feet all the way around. Yeah, and that was domestic in nature. You know, so we have to make sure when we do traffic control, it's incumbent upon us as police officers to be safe in what we do. We can stop a vehicle pretty much anywhere in the state of South Carolina, but pretty much in our municipality. Now, where we stop a vehicle at is on us. We can do it in a safe place and try to predict what this person is going to pull over at. You know, and sometimes we can control it, but sometimes we can't. Because individuals nowadays, based on the climate of a lot of stuff, they want to drive fast. And they want to see if they can outrun the police. So what we're going to try to do is work on some other countermeasures to see if we can bring down that speed over there. But the last thing I want to do is try to stop someone on Carver Street or Floyd. They get into a high-speed chase and they know that straight run is around Floyd and your child is out there. Now you're looking at me. Because the first thing you're going to ask is, why did you chase him? Not knowing you just came in and said, come over there and get him. See, it's a little different. So the approach we're going to have is going to be that of, let's be tactful. Let's be safe when we do it. But you can bet believe when we come over there, just like we move across the city in our little group, you're going to know. Yeah, just don't be the one to get the ticket. Okay? So because when they come and they stop and everything moving over there. That's right. So and the community complaints we had for August that we actually addressed, we were able to resolve, and not to go into details because some of these are ongoing. So the ones that we actually addressed were Martha Law. They had problems with individuals over there after dark, at night, you know, just in the park, loitering. We had an issue, or at least a concern about the vape shop, to which we're addressing that. Moore Street with the speeding, we're addressing it also. Again, that area there is kind of rough when you're trying to stop speeders. And the mayor and I have been talking about maybe some countermeasures in that area to see if we can slow it down some. And you got to understand, if we chase somebody on Moore Street, they go over to the adjoining county. We have to notify that county we're coming. And before you know in Lake City, you can hit 60, 75 miles an hour, you out of Lake City. It doesn't take but a few minutes. So we got to be sure when we go after somebody, we try to get as close enough to get that tag and get identification of that person. We try not to chase him to the point that we need to catch him. That's not always the solution, because we got this thing that is called like over chasing, that you can actually call someone to wreck because you exceed the speed and it's not really that serious. Okay, and we don't chase motorcycles, y'all. Just let you know now. We try to get close to them. We try to identify who they are because South Carolina, what we love, they don't have helmets, so we love it. So we pretty much know everybody around here. So just call us if you hear the motorcycles or see them. Wilmot Street, there were some calls about the traffic on Wilmot Street and Deep River. We're addressing that also. So,
And Graham Road too.
yeah, yes, ma'am. Graham Road too. Yes, ma'am. That too. And also, as far as domestic violence, there's been an uptick in that also, and we've been looking at those to the point that we actually have an individual coming in from PD Mental Health on Thursday that's going to give my police officers, myself, as well as judicial, if they should choose to come in and listen, they're going to give them an overview on the domestic violence law because it is very, very high in the PD region. Very, very high. So we're moving. We're moving. I know it's slow, but we're moving. Just have faith and just trust us and it's coming. Okay? Any questions?
You covered a lot.
Had a busy month, man.
And to speak on the staff count, the city has every position filled except for the 6 in the police department, and the police department are doing their due diligence and their background checks. They're in the process of working up 3. So that means once those 3, if they pass everything, they'll be down to 3. We'll soon be at 100% head count for the city, so we're working to accomplish that hopefully before the year ends.
Can we have a party for that?
I'm sorry?
Can we have a party for that?
Can we have a party for that? I don't know, but we're working pretty good together. Like I said, Mr. Hall and myself and also the mayor, we see what the problems are. We see it every day, just looking at the way things are done and the way we're going to approach things and stuff like that. And they've been actually intricate in the process of interviewing. So these guys go through a phase of 3 or 4 phases. It's not just come in, the chief like you hire. No. They go through the phase of just actually meeting with the police department, the fire department, also mayor and the city administrator. So it's a process. I may like them, But it may rise to the level of something that they're not really sure about. If they get the thumbs down, we'll try somebody else. So it's all hands on deck. So they've been very, very helpful. We have a $1,000 bonus. If y'all know somebody that's want to join the police department, $1,000 bonus. Give you a takeover vehicle. Not you, Miss Cynthia. $1,000 bonus. Not me. But if you know anybody, just send them my way. You know what I mean? Really, male, female, just send them. We'll work with them.
How about the bonus? How do you pay that out?
6 months.
6 months. Actually, some we've actually put on a year.
Yeah.
Because of COVID and the way we had to go to the academy. Well, we'll do half the first 6 months through that probationary period, and some that actually had, like if you're already certified, we'll do 5 that first month, that first 6 months. If you not certified and you coming in, you have to go to the academy, we will wait almost to that year before we do it. And they understand that $1,000 is contingent upon that fiscal year's budget. It's a budgetary thing. So it's not just because I made 12 months giving my money. No, it doesn't work that way. So, and they have to earn it because they got phases. We even put it in their personnel action form and stuff like that. When you come in, first 90 days, 6 months, we do it that way. And you earn your money like that because you can't just come in and take the money and walk away from us. You got to have some kind of investment. So we understood that coming in. And like I said, the mayor and Mr. Hall and I, they've been very, very mindful of that. They've been reminded of that every day pretty much. Make sure.
And next month, you'll get to meet Cynthia's deputy director. We didn't get him on the list this month, but she's been without one, 2 years? 3 years?
Almost 30.
Almost 3, and she's got her a deputy director, and some of you may have met him in the senior center the other week.
Yeah.
So we have made leaps and bounds in making sure our staff and the people that we're bringing in they're part of the family.
Right.
That we're all, the 97 people we'll have here will be a little family for the city of Lake City.
All right.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Right. Thank you.
All right, Mary, that's executive session.
No executive session.
There is an executive
There
session,
is.
but not
Okay, at this time, we're gonna go into executive session. The South Carolina Freedom of Information Act 30-4-70, A36, to discuss matters covering attorney-client privilege, provision of services rendered through the utility building department.
And with Mayor and Council's approval, I would like for the Director of Utility Services to stay in case any questions come up that need to be answered in her area, if that's okay with everyone.